Hi Sagittarius, Trishna here. Welcome to your December 2019 general reading. So what I'm feeling for you is I feel like right now you are in an all right place. I think you're doing well. I feel like you've had a lot of things that you've been confused about, but you've really been sitting in a very mental place trying to figure things out. And I feel like you're making some progress. Like things are starting to become clearer to you. You're starting to be able to make better decisions. You have this clarity in your mind, like things are being figured out. And I think that that feels really good. I think that it feels a little bit like a relief. It feels really nice to know what's what and where you're going and what you're doing and why you're doing it. And so I think that this feels positive. It's really nice to have this stress off of your shoulders, and it helps you move forward with the month, with your life, with whatever area of life this pertains to for you. And I feel like now you know what it is that you want to do, you know what decision you're trying to make, you know what direction you're trying to go in. You sorted something out, you figured something out. There's less confusion now than there used to be. Something has clicked for you in your mind. And so you have that, but you're not really sure how to progress. You don't really know how to make the next move. You're not really sure how to materialize this new vision, this new plan, this new clarity that you now have. And so, what I recommend for you is that you just go ahead and make the first move, or you go ahead and implement whatever it is that you want to implement. And then you get feedback from that situation, you refine from there, you learn what really is needed in order to make this desire of yours materialize, and then you do a round two and you will get whatever it is that you're trying to get. So here's an example to help this make some sense. That this example is not like the perfect example, but it will kind of illustrate. It's the one that's coming to me right now, so it's the one that I'm going to share with you to illustrate what I'm trying to share with you. So let's say you've decided that you know exactly where you want to go with your career. Before that, you're really confused, but you've sorted some things out and you know what job you want to have. You know what career path you want to take. And it's different from what you've done in the past. So you're making a career change. Let's say that's your decision. So you're like, "Okay, so I want to get a job in this field. I don't know how to do that. I don't know what I need to know. I don't really know how to handle an interview. I don't really know how to make that transition." So the advice for you that I'm getting is to just schedule that interview. Just go and do that interview. And you're going to prepare for it. You're going to try to do your best. You show up to the interview and you realize, whoa, the kinds of questions that they used to ask in interviews in my usual field of career are very different from what they ask in this new field that I'm trying to approach. They ask very different kinds of questions. They're more technical, they're more specific, or they want me to solve problems versus behavioral types of questions. So in that interview, you're going to learn what is needed in order for you to make this successful. What do you need to adjust? What do you need to do? What do you need to bring to the table? What problems are there that you need to solve in this scenario for you to be successful? So go ahead and make that first move is what I'm trying to say. Get the feedback from that situation and then do the next round of the interview. So here's where this example breaks down a little bit, because for some of you, you'll be approaching the exact same situation. So you'll be doing the exact same interview that you were completely unprepared for. You prepared, but you were unprepared when it came down to it. But you're going to go back and interview with the exact same people as if, I mean, they'll know that you have already interviewed, but it's as if they didn't reject you completely. So and that's the scenario that will happen for you. Like the situation that you're trying to deal with that you have some clarity on but you don't know how to execute on is not going to completely reject you. So you are going to go for round two with the exact same situation. I was just saying that with the job scenario, usually if you don't do well in an interview, they just move on to the next candidate. But in my example, because it's not the perfect example, but in my example, you do get a second chance at the exact same interview. So now you do the exact same interview, and you are better prepared. You know exactly what they're going to ask. You know what they're looking for. You know how you need to showcase yourself to fit whatever it is that they're looking for, or to solve their problem, or to be able to fit their needs. And so when you go in for round two, you do a much better job. You're extremely successful. It goes very well, and you get the result that you want either in that round, or they give you a third chance and you do it in that round, or for some of you, the fourth round. But you basically will end up being successful in this exact same scenario with whoever is involved. You will repeat the scenario like 2 to 4 times, and one of those times you will be successful and get the result that you want. So I hope I made that clear. In an interview, real life interview situation, you're really not going to get that second chance, not that third chance, not that fourth chance. In your situation, you will. But for some reason, a job situation is the only one that came to mind to explain this whole scenario for you. So you will have multiple chances with the same situation. So whatever it is that you are trying to materialize into your world, whatever decisions you've made that you want to execute on, it's okay that you don't know how. Just go ahead and make the first move, try to make it happen. You will learn from that, you'll get feedback from that, and you'll know what you need to do to be successful in the second, third, or fourth round of the same situation. Okay, so I'm gonna move on now, because I think I've beaten that down. Okay, so how December is going to go for you. So the way December is going to go for you is I feel like for the most part it's going to go well. Things are going to go better. Like as the month progresses, you're going to feel better, you're going to do better. So overall, I feel like the month is going to go well. I do feel like in whatever decision you have made, you are leaving somebody behind, or you feel like you are dealing with some kind of loss of some sort, and that is going to be a feeling that lingers on as the month progresses. So like even though things are getting better, you do feel this sense of loss, and you know, it might even be the case where the better you feel, the more you feel that loss. But you really can't ever leave anything truly behind, and you can't ever really have, at least in this scenario, the loss that you have isn't truly a loss. So you're not really leaving anything or anyone behind, and you're not really dealing with a loss. It may appear that way, it certainly feels that way, it certainly looks that way, but that's not entirely the reality of the situation. And the thing is during this month, whenever you need comfort from this loss, you may want to go back to whatever it is that you're leaving behind. And I feel like for this month, that's something that is okay to do. That's something that you really need in order to help you progress and feel good and improve your scenario and improve your perception of life and how you're feeling. So I feel like it is okay to go back to whatever it is that you have left behind to make yourself feel better. And so let me give you an example here. Another one of my examples. So an example here is, let's say you're a student and you got into a really good school and you're going to be starting a new program come January, let's say, or even like summer semester or something. You're going to be leaving your home, you're going to be leaving your family, maybe you're leaving your mom to go join this school program in summer. Let's just keep it as summer. So you feel like you're leaving behind your family or your mom, and you're leaving them behind and going off to go do something else that's going to improve your life or make you feel better or something like that. And you feel this sense of loss. So you're excited, things are getting better, you have clarity about what you want to study, where you want to go, what kind of career you want to have. So you're going to school for it, but you also feel this lingering feeling of loss because you feel like you're leaving your mom behind. And again, you're not really leaving her behind. She's always going to be there for you. She's always going to be there to support you. You're just going away for a little while to work on yourself and work on your career and that kind of thing. So that's an example of moving forward and leaving something behind, but it's not truly a loss and you're not truly leaving it behind. And while you are getting ready to leave, you haven't left yet. You're starting in summer. And so it is okay to spend more time with your mom. It's okay to lean on her, and it's okay to find comfort in her even though you are leaving her behind in your mind. So that's the way for you to think about this scenario is, yes, you may be leaving something behind, but you're never truly leaving anything behind in this scenario. Yes, it feels like a loss, but it's not truly a loss, and it's okay to rely on whatever it is that you think that you have left behind or are feeling a loss about. And the other thing that I feel like you really need to know is that it is okay for you to be happy. I feel like you don't feel comfortable being happy right now, maybe because you feel like you're leaving something behind, or there is a sense of loss, or there's just a lot of confusion you've been dealing with, but it is okay for you to feel happy. It is okay for you to move on or like leave something behind and still feel happy. Like you very much have that right, and I feel like it's really important that you let yourself be happy. Okay, so as you guys know, I am not, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I don't do tarot readings, and I haven't had a tarot deck before, but I finally decided to go ahead and buy a tarot deck, and I'm going to be pulling some cards for you. So I went ahead and shuffled the deck, and 2 cards fell out, and then I pulled out a third because I wanted a sense of completion. And so these cards are for additional guidance that you need to hear, and I'm going to read them all intuitively. So the first card that fell out was the 7 of Swords, and then there's also the Star card, and the final card was the 10 of Cups. So what I see with the Seven of Swords, what I'm picking up from that is that this goes back to how things have been for you for a little while. There's been a lot of confusion. There's been a lot of things that you've been trying to juggle, trying to figure out, trying to hold, like do all at the same time, and you've been trying to keep it all together. And it's been hard, it's been difficult, but that's just been the state of your life. It's been confusing and a lot to juggle all at the same time. The other thing that I feel from this card is that it's almost like you wanted to take some things and keep them for yourself. And so you maybe grab some things that were actually yours. Like they're things that are yours. You're not taking anything from anybody else, but you've been taking things that were actually yours, but you were somehow for some reason hoping that nobody would notice, and you were trying to take what's yours and kind of sneak off without anybody noticing. You didn't, for whatever reason, you didn't want anybody to know that you were taking these things or hiding these things or keeping these things or grabbing something and taking it off somewhere else. And you hope nobody would notice, but I feel like people definitely noticed. And they notice, but for whatever reason, they can't really do anything about it. And so they kind of just have to let it happen, and that's what they're doing. They can't do anything about the situation. You have taken something, it was probably rightfully yours already, and you sneaked off with it. They notice that, but they can't do anything about it, so they just kind of have to let it all happen. With the star card tends to represent like a form of wish fulfillment, like you're getting whatever it is that you want. It's a really good card to have, and I feel like in some sense that is what it represents for you. It represents that you basically got what you wanted. You got the clarity that you wanted, you got the direction that you wanted, and you've started to make that choice. And so in that sense, things are really nice, dandy, happy. You got whatever it is that you wanted, and that's nice. But I also feel like this card is telling me, like from an intuitive perspective, that even though you got what you wanted, and on the surface it looks wonderful and pretty and perfect, and it's what you maybe thought that you needed, I feel like you may have some regrets around that, or you may be feeling a little sad or disappointed, or maybe like you took something for granted, or like you are being wasteful of something that was good, or being wasteful in some way. And that probably goes back to how you feel this sense of loss, or like the sense of leaving something behind. And so even though you found some clarity and you're moving forward in your life, there's a little bit of that sad feeling that is always lingering with you, because you're wondering like, I feel good and I know this is the right choice for me, but like I also don't feel good about that choice because there's other factors that are affecting how I feel about it. And I also feel like there's a part of you that wishes you could be somewhere other than where you are. Like, where you are is nice because you have what you want, but you also don't feel really good about it, and you kind of sometimes wish you could be off in the distance without having to deal with this whole jumble of emotions that you have. And the final card was the Ten of Cups, which is a really good card to get. So it's really nice that it's where these cards are leading up to. And basically what I'm feeling for this is I feel like everything that you're doing right now is ultimately leading to what it is that you truly want. Like, this is all leading up to you getting the fulfillment of your desires or the vision that you have for yourself in your life. So you're making the right choices, and it's leading to the vision that you ultimately want. It's just that the vision that you ultimately want may be different than how you envision it right now. Like, the end result may look very different from what you thought. So you're going to get the essence of the vision, but it's going to look really different. And right now you may not really feel like you are going towards whatever it is that you want, because I feel like right now even though you've been dealing with some confusion and you have overcome a lot of that and you're starting to find clarity, you're still not thinking completely clearly. So you may not really see how this is leading to what you want, because one, you're not thinking entirely clearly just yet, and two, the end result will be very different from how you're thinking about it right now. So that's what I'm feeling for you, Sagittarius. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I can't believe it's already going to be 2020, so I hope you have a wonderful December. I hope that you don't feel too sad about whatever it is that is bringing you down, as everything else is trying to make you feel better. I hope you try to enjoy the holidays as much as possible. And yeah, I'll see you in 2020. I hope I earned your like and your subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.